Hi there, it's Julia from Sunsquare Crafts. Today I am on the TheAlleyWayStamps YouTube channel sharing a card that I created using the Tooty Fruity stamp set as well as my Prismacolor pencils. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that I just die for this Tooty Fruity stamp set. I think I have a zillion ideas how to use it, so today I'm going to share one of those with you. To begin, I am going to do some creative masking so that I can create a fun little punny sentiment to go with the rest of the card. This is going to be a one-layer card, so I'm stamping directly onto my A2 size card base, and I am using the Your Berry Special stamps as well as the Hope You're Peachy. And you saw there that I needed to mask off one of those words so that I could use the berry and special to create my own little sentiment. The Hope You're Peachy comes all in one piece, so you don't need to do any masking for that one. In this case, I am using a black dye ink, and it's the same ink that I'll be using for all of my stamping. I really like it when I am able to use the same black ink for all of my stamping so that everything matches and kind of coordinates. It's definitely not necessary, but it's just one of those little details that I really try to achieve. Next, I have masked off that area in the center where I stamped my greeting just to make sure there wasn't any accidents and I accidentally got any ink on there after I had taken the time to mask off the sentiments and get those how I liked them. And I am just choosing a variety of the fruit stamps that come in that Tooty Fruity stamp set, and I'm just stamping them all around the outside edge of my card. I'm being fairly careful not to get right in next to that mask because I don't want to cut any of the fruits off. I don't want it to look like there's a square in the center of the card, if that makes any sense. I'm just going to stamp those fruits all around the outside until I'm happy with the design. I tried to kind of do 2s and 3s and try to kind of start with the largest stamp, which is with peach, and then work my way down to the smaller stamps. The rest of the video is going to include quite a bit of Prismacolor coloring. I absolutely love using my Prismacolor color pencils. I actually only own a set of 24, and for pretty much every project that I've needed them for, it's been plenty. These are definitely an investment when you want to start using color pencils, but I personally find that color pencils, especially with some blending solution, are the easiest coloring medium to use. If you are not that comfortable with coloring, I would highly recommend that you think about getting some color pencils. I've even used like way less fancy, just kind of school student grade colored pencils, and those work really well as well. So if that's all you can get, then I would really recommend it because it's such easy and fun coloring. To color my peach, I laid down a base coat of a yellow color, and then I went back in with an orange to create the orangey kind of peach look. I'm using a Winsor & Newton odorless mineral spirits blending solution and some paper stumps to blend out all of my Prismacolor pencils. You absolutely don't need to do this step, but I just love the effect that you get. It's so smooth and well blended, and I think it's really neat because you can kind of still see behind that you use the color pencils, and so I just really love the look of it. Once my card was actually finished, I really felt like this whole card looked like a kind of old school tablecloth, like you used to see at your grandma's house. It would be like plasticized on her kitchen table. That's exactly what this card reminded me of. So as I was choosing the colors for my card, I really tried to go with those bright retro kind of colors. I'm just working away on my peach here. I am going to speed up the coloring in a little bit faster. I know that sometimes it's hard to follow along, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I do check back on the TheAlleyWayStamps YouTube channel and try to respond to as many comments as I can. I'm going ahead and coloring in the little stem using 2 shades of brown, and then I'm also going to color in my little peach leaf there using 2 shades of green. Because these areas are quite small, I felt like 2 shades was plenty. In terms of my blending stumps, I have a stump that I use for each color. So I have one that I use for red, one that I use for blue, and then when I use other colors like purples or pinks, I tend to just use the one that's most similar. I would say in total I have maybe 8 blending stumps. They're very inexpensive and I find it really easy to have one per color. It means that you don't need to cut off the tip or sand it down each time between use. I moved on to coloring in my strawberry here. I started with a darker color around the leaf area, and then I pulled in a lighter red around the bottom to create a little bit of highlighting. I'm just going to show coloring each fruit once, so if watching me color is not your thing, you may want to skip ahead to the end when I add my final details. I actually needed to Google at this point to find out what color strawberry seeds are. In case you're curious, it turns out they're green, so I used the darkest green that I had to color in the seeds. I didn't even bother doing any shading at that point. All of my leaves and green areas are using the same 2 greens, so the same greens that I used for my peach leaf, I'm just using for the strawberry leaves at this point, and same with the stem, I'll use the same 2 browns that I used for that. Near the end of this card, I kind of went more assembly line style where I'd color in all of the greens and then all of the stems, and it really made it go quite quickly. If I'm being honest, this is one of those projects that the card in the end looks quite simple, but it was pretty time consuming to color in all of these fruits. I think it was a lot of fun and I'm really glad I did it. And after all, I'm really happy with the final result, so I think that it's definitely worth it. To color in my little blackberry raspberry fruit or berry, I use 2 shades of purple, a dark and a light one. I find this berry kind of hard to shade, so what I usually do is I go in with my darkest color around the stem and leaf, and then I do a few other little seeds sort of around the berry, because when you look at berries, they're not always perfect and the same kind of uniform color. And then I'll go in with my second purple and fill in all of the other little seeds so that I get kind of cool blended look, but that I find it actually looks pretty realistic. I'm not sure if that comes through on the camera, but you'll see the picture at the end. To color my cherries, I use 2 shades of red. I use a very dark red on the left hand side, and then I used a lighter red kind of all over the center of the berry, and then when I used my blending solution, I kind of just pulled that out towards the right hand side to create a little bit of dimension and to make it look like it wasn't quite as dark on the right hand side, especially near the top. So you can see there I have cut ahead to when I'd finished coloring all of the fruits. Like I said, I colored all of the leaves the exact same way. I needed to fill in some of the lines that didn't stamp perfectly. Sometimes when I'm filming these videos, I don't get the best impression because I try really hard not to get my head in the way. So I needed to go back in a few cases to just fill in the lines where I didn't get the perfect impression. I also colored outside the lines in a couple places, and to fix that, I just used a white jelly roll pen, and I just used it kind of like whiteout right around the edges. As the final touch on my card, I used some clear Wink of Stella on all of the berries, but not the peaches, just to create a little bit of difference and interest. And that finishes the card. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching me color, and I will be back over on the AlleyWayStamps channel in a few days with a new card. Thanks so much. Bye!